Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
The first webinar is Investing on Active versus Passive Mutual Funds, where we'll be discussing various aspects related in active versus passive mutual fund. The second webinar is Investing for Your Children Higher Education. This webinar is months only webinar. These first two webinars will be hosted in Tamil language. The third webinar is Investing in India's Travel Boom, where we will be discussing the risk and opportunities in this particular sector. If you're interested in any of this webinar, you can click the link below in the description to register.
Mastering personal finance has become an essential skill today. So many of us are already on this job of figuring out how we should manage our money, and we have so many tools to choose from. There are finfluencers, there are people who are organizing webinars, there are plenty of resources available on social media for investors to choose from. So it's not a lack of choice that's really a challenge for investors today. It's about how they can structure their finances, and it's not even a question of cost anymore, because you get platforms that allow you to transact at minimal costs. You're also exposed to many other options that are available in today's market. So the real question is, can you actually do away without an advisor? And when we think about this, there are 5 kinds of people who can't do away with an advisor. And let's take a quick look at who these people are. So the first category of people are the ones who say that they have no time, and you know this person. It's the person who has a lot of family responsibilities, who's running a career that takes up most of their time and is just exhausted at the end of every day. They may have all the right intentions, they might be very interested in managing their wealth, and might actually be spending time on figuring out how to do it, but they just don't have the time to act on things whenever they're supposed to. So what tends to happen is they'll say that they'll start their SIP, or you might have given them a stock tip, but they don't act on it. And then a few weeks later, you'll get a call saying, hey, is this something I should still do? Or they would have done it much later without paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing. Now, this is problematic because the outcomes that come from mistimed actions are actually worse than those that are taken at the right time and in the right context. So it's very important for you to be able to commit a certain amount of time when you're going to manage your own wealth. If you don't have the ability to commit that time, it's better to outsource it to somebody who is going to give your portfolio the kind of attention and care that it needs. The second category of people who need an advisor are those who have many sources. So you know this person as well. They're the ones who would come and ask you for a stock tip, then go to their neighbors, then chat about it in the office, or they might even be looking at different platforms, different influencers, and again comparing across platforms where they can see ratings of ideas, and then they'll arrive at a solution. So the problem with this is, if you're actually actively listening to many people and not just gathering views to analyze and research on your own, then your portfolio is going to lack character. What tends to happen is you're doing a little bit of what everybody says. You don't have enough conviction in one way of structuring your portfolio, and the outcomes are going to be messy. So Peter Lynch had this thing about diversification, which means not spreading your assets but making it worse by diversifying too much. So these kind of people actually need to tone it down and be able to synthesize what they're getting. So having a mentor or an advisor could really assist in structuring their portfolios in such a manner that they get the best of ideas filtered in. The third category of people are those who are not very organized with their finances. So you would know someone or the other who has assets all over the place, who doesn't know what their investments are, who doesn't remember when their FDs are maturing or whether they're on auto renew, and are often surprised by the sums that come into their bank account because they don't know what their salary is or how much tax they're supposed to pay, right? So if you lack organization in your personal finances, then it's better to work with a financial planner or an investment advisor who can actually help you bring some structure into your day-to-day life. When you have this structure in place, you're able to optimize your resources better. You don't end up paying penalties because you missed an advance tax payment. You don't end up losing money, and you know exactly where all what you own is. This is a great advantage, and it can give you a lot of peace of mind. Which brings us to the fourth category of people who actually need an advisor, and they are the ones who worry about money a lot. So, if you're the kind of person who's ever checked your phone multiple times a day to see how your portfolio is doing, or if you're constantly looking at the index or you're checking stocks all the time, then perhaps this is a reflection of how you are. If you wake up wondering that your portfolio is down and it's just been a week since you made your last investment, then it's worth wondering whether you want to have such a deep emotional connection to your portfolio, which is not healthy. So, if you need to rework on your relationship with money, whether it's in the capacity of an investor who's constantly anxious, or somebody who's not able to control their expenses, or someone who's spiraling into debt, then you really need to have somebody who's neutral, who'll be able to help you get back on track on your wealth creation journey. And the last one, which is a little bit surprising, is a shout out to those investors who are very ambitious. If you have very ambitious wealth creation targets ahead of you, then the journey ahead is actually going to be quite arduous, and you need someone to sit down with you and be able to go through those ups and downs together. This need not be a formal advisor, but you should definitely have a mentor or a partner in this journey who is able to help you navigate the challenges that could come your way. Markets will go up and down. There will be years where your income doesn't grow as expected. You may not have a steady set of cash flows at different points. You're going to deal with emergencies through your life. There will be a variety of investment products that you have to choose from. And all of this is not something that anyone can do on their own. It always helps to have a second pair of eyes go through whatever you're seeing. If you know any one of the characters that we've described in this video, then please share it with them so that they can benefit from getting the help that they need at the right point in their lives. Thank you for watching this video.